Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're delighted to welcome you to the first Medical Laboratory Technology Student Conference in Southeast Asia 2021 with main theme Call for Action and Student Collaboration Across Nations.
The conference is aims to integrating Southeast Asia and LT student organization into one unity. Also improving the quality and soft skills of Southeast Asia and LT students and strengthening coordination and further cooperation amid MLT students in Southeast Asia.
Hosted in Bandung, the Medical Laboratory Technology Polytechnic of Health Ministry of Health Indonesia has the honor to present you this student conference. This conference is presented by Indonesian Student Association of Medical Laboratory Technology or Ikatan Mahasiswa Analis Kesehatan Indonesia.
It is an honor to us to introduce and welcome the guests at our table. Chief Executive of Duty of Board of Department and Empowerment of Human Health, Resources in Public Health, Dr. Maxi Rayendrononu, PhSM MARS, President of Indonesian Association of Schools of Medical Laboratory Technology or ILME, Dr. Budi Santosa, Magister of Medical Science, President-elect of ASEAN Association of Schools of Medical Technology or AASMT, Dr. Syamsuriansyah, Magister of Management, Magister of Health, President of ASEAN Association of Schools of Medical Technology or AASMT, Dr. Fu Kwang, Doctor of Medicine, PhD, Chief of Indonesian Student Association of Medical Laboratory Technology or MEDALKI, Mr. Bayu Dwi Rianto, Chairman of MSC 2021, Mr. Hilal Al-Badri, and also we welcome all the presenters and participants, also delegates from MSC 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the report statement delivered by the Chairman of MSC 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Hilal Al-Badri. To Mr. Hilal Al-Badri, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Medical Laboratory Student Conference 2021. My name is Silal. I'm here as chairman of the MSC 2021 committee to thank the honorable ones, Mr. Enes Widodo as the president of Patelki, Mr. Dr. Budi Santosa as the president of ITLME, Mr. Dr. Samsuriansa as the president-elect of AASMT, Prof. Wang Hui as the president of AASMT, Mr. Dr. Maxi Rayendrononu, the Chief Executive of Duty of Board of the Department and Empowerment Human Health Research in Public Health. Then I also would like to thank the speakers who were present at MSC 2021. Thank you for Prof. Bernard Mumbai Ebuen from Philippines. Thank you for Prof. Muhammad Nazil bin Saleh from Malaysia. And thank you for Dr. Miswar Fatah from Indonesia. And I also express my gratitude to the delegates and participants who have attended this MSC 2021 event. The number of participants who registered for this event is 1,283 from 109 universities. The condition of COVID-19 pandemic has changed everything. All humans need to think more critically in this situation. This is the point where the youth movement in dealing with this kind of situation is very much needed. The change of time that was previously the millennial era is now changing into the era of Generation Z. The youth of Gen Z are people who think more critically, innovatively, and with quality. So, there is a need for movement from the youth in awakening the progress of the nation and country. Especially in the medical world, the level of development needs in medical technology is increasing rapidly. Medical laboratory technology is one of the professions in the medical field that is very important because they are responsible for helping doctors in diagnosis disease in patients. Therefore, development in MLT education is an important role in facing global challenge. The development in MLT education is experiencing significant progress right now. The quality of MLT in the future must be better from previous era. MLT students as the agent of change need to accelerate in their competencies and their soft skills during the education programs. The purpose is the students are ready to face the global challenge. However, the education system and standard of MLT in Southeast Asia have a difference in each country. It makes the knowledge and the competency of MLT students also vary. Therefore, a forum for discussion and further cooperation MLT students among Southeast Asia need to be held as a means of communication and networking toward the era of global challenge. The goals of MSC 2021 are integrating Southeast Asia MLT student organization into one unity. 2. Building discussion among MLT students in integrating Southeast Asia MLT students in facing global challenge. 3. Forming a unity of MLT students across Southeast Asia countries in facing global challenge. 4. Improving the quality of competence and soft skill of MLT Southeast Asia students. And last, strengthening coordination and further cooperation amid MLT students in Southeast Asia. That's all for me, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bilal Al-Badri, for the report statement. We are now going to listen to the welcome speech given by the President of Indonesian Association of Schools of Medical Laboratory Technology, or ITLME. Please welcome Mr. Dr. Budi Santosa, Magister of Medical Science. To Mr. Budi Santosa, the stage is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, respectable Dr. Miswar Fata MSC, President of ACLL, Vice President of ATLKI, Professor Dr. Muhammad Nasir Saleh, Vice President SMT, Dr. Fu Wan, Presiden SMT, Profesor Firkat Umbai, Founding President SMT, Dr. Samsuriansah, President-elect of SMT, Vice President of ITLM. All the committee, thank you very much, and all participants. As President of the Association, Indonesia Association of School of Medical Laboratory Technology, I have the honor to welcome you on behalf of the association to the first Medical Laboratory Technology Student Conference in Southeast Asia 2021. I wish to express our appreciation to the organizer of this conference that will bring unity of Southeast Asia Medical Technology Association, improve the quality of competence, and soft skill of medical laboratory technology Asian student, and also strengthen coordination and further cooperation among them. Dear ladies and gentlemen, through this conference, we would to engage with a true and an open and constructive discussion to build for collaboration among medical laboratory technology students by sharing and working among them. We do hope that this conference can also support the improvement of medical laboratory technology quality, not only nationally, but also at the Asian level. To face the global challenges, IFTLME is committed to the building TLM Asian partners in Indonesia and Asian for quality improvement. All the medical laboratory education institution and their civitas academic under IFTLME are committed to engage in cooperation and collaboration with our fellow institutions in Asian countries. I would like to thank the speakers who will share their knowledge. I hope this international conference will give benefit to all of us. And also, I hope the honorable speaker will contribute their expertise and experience so as to improve our knowledge. Okay, successful and enlightening conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Budi Santosa. We are now going to listen to the welcome speech given by the President-elect of Asian Association of School of Medical Technology, or AASMT. Please welcome Mr. Dr. Syamsuriansyah, Magister of Management, Magister of Health Science. To Mr. Syamsuriansyah, the stage is yours.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Mr. Ms. Warpata, as the President of SLCs, Honorable Dr. Budi Santosa as the President of ITLME, Honorable Dr. Hui as the President of ASEAN Association of Medical Technology, and Honorable Professor Dr. Nazil as the Vice President of ISMT and also as a speaker today, Honorable Dean Bernard Umbai as the founder of ISMT, the speaker today, and dear all delegates. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome everybody to the virtual first Medical Laboratory Technology Students Conference in 2021 in Jakarta, Indonesia. We really understand that the current COVID-19 pandemic cannot bring us together, but the strength of our academic soul will still strengthen us together under any circumstances. Medical technology students is one of our investment to strengthening of human resources for future. As we can see that several nations strategies that can be carried out to prepare the quality of health workers, especially professional medical laboratory technology experts, are to hold seminars, symposiums, workshop, and other scientific activities. And more than that, by conducting several international meetings that will provide learning experience for all students. I hope that by conducting this conference will increase the ability of laboratory personnel in South Asian countries. Ladies and gentlemen, effective delivery healthcare services depends largely on the nature education, training, and appropriate orientations toward community health of all categories of health personnel, and also their capacity to function as an integrated team. In addition to that, it is also crucial to generate competent of human resources for invaluable ideas and well-designed input gained from this conference will also uh, help our medical and health professions educator in ASEAN countries to generate competent of health workforce, including medical laboratory technologies, especially during COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to all speakers and as also especially to our SMT college. I feel like we are having a reunion here. And also my gratitude also, I would like to send my thanks to ISMT Founders President, Mr. Dian Bernard Umbai, and also its members. I hope that everyone could gain knowledge and learns new technologies from this conference. We could encourage our students to continue our collaboration in professional, academic, community services, and research network. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I wish everybody has a great time for this virtual meeting of the conference and successfully for the first Medical Laboratory Technology Students Conference, MSC 2021. And good luck to Imatelki and have a nice day. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Syamsuriansyah, for the welcome speech. We are now going to listen to the welcome speech given by the President of ASEAN Association of Schools of Medical Technology, or AASMT. Please welcome Mr. Dr. Fu Kwang, Doctor of Medicine, PhD.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleges, students, organizers, and respective delegates from Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam, and across on Asia country. With now we can see have more than 657 participants. It is my great pleasure and honor from President of ASEAN Association School of Medical Technology, AASMT, from Vietnam Association School of Medical Technology, from University of Medicine and Pharmacy, Ho Chi Minh City, and from more than 10 different universities from Vietnam, including National University from the north, from the middle Vietnam, the Da Nang, the Phan Châu Trinh, to the south, such as the Cần Thơ, Trà Vinh, Hồng Bàng, Phạm Ngọc Thạch University, with nearly 200 students from bachelor to master and PhD joining with you today. We would like to express our welcome speech to on appeal to the Medical Laboratory Technology Student Conference 2021 with the theme Call for Action on Student Collaboration Across the Nation, which hosted by Indonesia's Student Association of Medical Laboratory. As the AISMT President, I and we on member will enhance collaboration to implement the harmonized medical technology education in ASEAN for one ASEAN medical technology. And we will continue set up the research network medical technology in ASEAN with the main countries such as Japan, Australia, China, England, etc. And go far for strengthening of the faculty and student development program, such as the activity as the expanded MT education bridge program, establishment the ASEAN network of medical technology students, creation of AISMT committee on continuing faculty development and student development. As the president of AISMT, it is my great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all of you to join this virtual congress, which I believe will provide the opportunity for international network and partnership among ASEAN countries and bilateral between universities from different countries, and which we will have MOU between our university and University of Dr. Siam in discussion for soon outcome in the coming times. And the last but not least, with my warm regards to all of you, dear my colleagues, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we start the Medical Laboratory Technology Student Conference 2021. We honor to invite Dr. Maxi Rendrodonubu, PhSM MARS, as the Chief Executive of Duty of Board of Department and Empowerment Human Health Research in Public Health to open the event.
Good morning and greetings. It is my privilege to address you, President of Asian Association of School of Medical Technology, the guest speaker from Medical Technology expert, and all participants to this webinar. First of all, I want to give my gratitude and appreciation to Medical Laboratory Technology Student Association for organizing this webinar. Before we begin, let me praise the Almighty God for all the grace and guidance that has been lavished upon us. Only with His blessing we can gather her in good health so that we can get together on this international conference. Yeah, we now, since the early days of 2020, the world has been a series of incredible paradigm shifts in approximately every aspect of life, from hard increases in demand in some industry, in total loss of demand in other. The world in the different generations are getting used to working and learning from home or managing to deliver product or business remotely. This radical shift shows that the future will be different and we need to prepare ourselves to another different era that needs a new paradigm and most importantly, defense competency. COVID-19 has spread around the world. WHO has designed COVID-19 as a global health emergency. Yeah, for challenge medical laboratory technology have a big role in providing health services to COVID patients. Medical laboratory technology professionalism and competence are much needed, increasing intensity in healthcare. And a strategy needs to be done. Yeah, first preparing adequate amount of personal protective equipment, and the second providing financial and non-financial incentive as a form of appreciation for health worker, and the third following health protocol to stop the spread of coronavirus. COVID-19, yeah, yeah, in Indonesian, yeah, have served over the past few months and several regions of the world, and large number of new infections are being reported daily. The World Health Organization has warned that the virus will continue to spread rapidly in the coming month. Indonesia has recording increasing new case reported, likely due to the year and holiday period. The overall upward trend seen prior to this period in the continuing will offer more 11 new cases reported in the 14 January nationality. This bring the cumulative number of the to over 15,000 reported cases and over 24,000 death national since the start to the pandemic. The high rate of COVID-19 transmission in the community will certainly have an impact on health services and health workers who treat patients. Currently, number of health workers in hospital be beating with the pandemic is more 40%. This number will increase parallel with COVID-19 cases. One of these health workers is medical laboratory technology, yeah, more 23%. Yeah, higher education is expected to be able to support the response to COVID-19 through innovation in the Tridharma perguruan tinggi. Three main domains of the Tridharma are education, research, and innovation, as well as community service. The role in the education aspect can be released to break the chain of transmission of COVID through the healthy campus movement and new normal learning. Learning in the new normal era is an adaptation and creation to the condition that happened recently. The real role and contribution to higher education, which is in more directly related to the current handling of COVID-19. It is the role related to innovation research and community service. There are 5 areas as the effort of the scientific community to tackle the corona pandemic in Indonesia. Yeah. The first preventive or prevention program related to the use of biological diversity such as research and the potential use of medical plants, vaccine development, production of personal protection equipment to the public education. The second, screening and diagnostic. This program is related to the development of rapid tests, RT-PCR tests, kits, and mobile laboratory BSL2. The third, supporting equipment program to encourage the development of related technology, such as the development of ventilator, drug deliveries, robots, and so on. The fourth, therapy and medicine. The fifth, social and humanity, including responding to the response of the community responding to the COVID-19 issue, the government preparedness for the pandemic and the impact on employment. In order to be able to compete in competitive age in pandemic era, medical laboratory technology graduates can improve, intensifying higher education on strengthening collaboration in education, improve the quality of education, and producing medical laboratory technology graduates who can adapt and compete in any condition, including the current pandemic condition. Corona cases have surged over the past few months in several regions of the world, and large number in new infection being reported daily. And while we are hopeful about the safe and effective vaccine that are being rolled out, campus is a higher education institution with very large member in terms of number can do a very comprehensive preventive effort that reach all the academic community. Various efforts that can be made by medical laboratory technology students in controlling COVID-19. Yeah, becoming voluntary in a health care facility, participate in promoting and implementing health protocol, participate in warding of hogs during the COVID pandemic in the mainly in the media social media, take part in research for COVID-19. Yeah. Yeah, with the increasing number of COVID-19 in Indonesia, the need for health service is also increasing. The need for voluntary health worker in needed in line with increasing capacity with health services in hospital in response to the COVID-19 case. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end this speech, I would like to thank those who have participated in this webinar. I am sure today we all gather here with the same mission to overcome the crisis we were already living and response to the pandemic we are all facing. We must coexist with COVID-19. Most importantly, people must stay productive and be safe from the virus. We are not prisoners of the pandemic. Every single one of us can make a difference. The future in our hands. Living in peace with the virus does not mean we are giving up, but we are adapting. We have learned an enormous amount, and we are still learning. But although our world has changed, the fundamental pillars of the response have not the basic measure needed to suppress transmission and save life. Find, isolate, and test, care for case, and trace and quarantine their contact. Keep your distance from the others, clean your hands, avoid crowded and enclosed areas, and wear a mask where recommended. Yeah. May God Almighty be blessed to provide guidance and bless all the noble effort that we do. That my speech and hereby I declare the event officially open. And I hope today will be the best momentum for we to do better in the future. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Maxirin Rodonu. Ladies and gentlemen, before start the talk show, please enjoy the performance from Crash Malis. They will present you national songs from Indonesia. For Crash Malis, the stage is yours.
Kulihat ibu pertiwi sedang bersusah hati, air matanya berlinang, mas intannya terkenang. bendera negeriku, berkibarlah engkau di dadaku, tunjukkanlah kepada dunia semangatmu yang panas membara. Daku ingin jiwa raga ini selaraskan keagungan. Daku ingin jemariku ini menuliskan karismamu. Berkibarlah bendera negeriku, berkibar di luas nuansamu, tunjukkanlah kepada dunia ramah tamah budi bahasamu. Daku ingin kapal tangan ini menunaikan kewajiban putra bangsa yang mengemban cita hidup dalam kesatuan, hidup dalam kesatuan, hidup dalam kesatuan.
Okay, after show you national song from Indonesia, they are going to present you a traditional dance called Bajidor. Bajidor or Bajidor Kahot is a traditional dance from West Java which combine the dance movement of Ketuk Pilu and Jaipongan as the basic of its motion.
Dandanan necis disandingan kuno gelis rengkat numarena mengete kabeng bat mana duh gending rongka tambah kota emprung di panggung geus jadi kagandrung sok gararetik sapating teu ngarekenek tebak kendang ngajak ngingklah aduh manis senggak kabeh baterian najan ujul si pesan tuh tidur pada kapok muak
epidemiologic investigations are underway, but yes, it's certainly possible that there's limited human-to-human transmission.
I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue our meeting to the next agenda. That is to hear the keynote speech, which will be delivered by Professor Bernard Umbe Ebuen, RMT, MSMT, MAED, Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazil bin Saleh, Dr. Miswar Fatah of Science, and will be moderated by Mr. Wimba Widardo, Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Technology, Magister of Science. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the talk show, let me introduce our moderator for today. His name is Wimba Widardo Dinutanayo, Bachelor Medical Laboratory Technology, Master of Science, date of birth September 30, 1989. He is from Indonesia. Education background, Bachelor of Applied Science in Medical Laboratory Technology, Bandung Polytechnic of Health, Indonesia. Master of Science in Biomedical Science, Maastricht University, the Netherlands. For experiences, founder and chief of Surya Nara Foundation. His occupations, lecturer and researcher in Medical Laboratory Technology Departments, Tanjung Karang Polytechnic of Health. For Mr. Wimba, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Wimba, your moderator for the next 2 hours in this talk show session of Medical Laboratory Technology Student Conference 2021. I will moderate you towards fruitful insights, yet wonderful discussion with our 3 speakers that will present their idea of 3 interesting topics. We all know that we are living in the era when every person can easily connect with another because of internet. We also live in a technological era that affect the way we work, including the profession of medical laboratory technologists. As the future of medical laboratory technologies, MLT students should be aware about the challenges to face the development of technology, especially in clinical laboratory industry. In other hand, global competition is now widely open, and a collaboration of MLT students across Asian region would be very beneficial, whether for the students, the lecturers, and the School of MLT itself. So this morning, to talk about the topics, we have 3 distinguished speakers that will present their idea in this session. First, we have Professor Bernard Umbe Ebuen, RMT, MSMT, MAED from Philippines. With his topic is the role of MLT student in facing the development of technology after the global pandemic. I will greet first Mr. Ebuen. Have you already here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
And then the second one, we have Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazil bin Saleh from Malaysia. His topic will be the impacts and role of MLT Asian student collaboration. To Mr. Nazil, have you already here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much. Last but not least, we have Dr. Miswar Fatah MSc with his topic MLT job and global competition. Mr. Fatah is from Indonesia. Mr. Fatah, have you already here?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite you to the first speaker, Professor Bernard Umbai Ebuen, to present his idea. But before we begin, I will read out his curriculum vitae first. His name is Bernard Umbai Ebuen, RMT, MSMT, MA8, and then he is the ninth term of President of the Philippine Association of School of Medical Technology and Public Health, or PASMED, and then the President of the Asian Association of Schools of Medical Technology, or AASMT, and then the Executive Advisor of aforesaid organization. His occupation is the Dean or Program Chair of MLS of Arellano University in Manila. And also, he is also the Vice President and Consultant of Philippine Competency Training and Assessment Center based in Gua Pangov Health. Correct me if I'm wrong in spelling, Mr. Ebuen.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then, yeah, he also has many experiences, including initiating the Mahidol Declaration of 2013, marking the birth of ASMT, and then initiating the ratification of ASMT Charter in December 2014 in the Philippines, and organized the second ASMT conference held in Bangkok, Thailand in November 2016. Professor Ebuen was the overall chair of the recent Asia MT or MLS Education Stakeholder Summit in November 2017 in Philippines, and then that culminate with adoption of 2017 Asian Manila Declaration on the harmonization of medical technology or medical laboratory science or biomedical science towards modern public health. Okay, without further ado, let me invite Mr. Ebuen to present his idea about the topic of the role of MLT student in facing the development on technology after the global pandemic. Your time is 25 minutes. I will remind you 5 minutes before your time is out. The floor is
thank
yours.
you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that very nice introduction. I just want to correct some facts. I am the founding president, and the president now of the ASEAN is Dr. Bainobok of Vietnam. I'm now serving as the advisor of the association.
Okay.
So anyway, I will start my talk on the post-COVID-19 roles of medical technology students. It could not be said post yet, though that's why I put a parenthesis there, because we are still in the middle of the pandemic, and in fact we are now facing another we are not threatened with this new strain that that has just been attacking the humanity now, coming from the UK and of course the African strain. So it's not yet done. We are not yet. It's not yet an afterwhat, but we are still within this pandemic. So my title, therefore, is the post-COVID. That's why I placed, as I said, an parenthesis on the post, because we're not yet through with this problem. So the role, if you ask me the role of the medtech students, it's just simple, just one simple solution, and that is to conquer, of course, COVID-19. And that's the only thing that we can do to live a normal life or to live the new normal life, conquer the COVID-19. So with the next slide, please. So let's remember this, our students. I know you're listening, so just keep these reminders or role of yours through the word conquer. So let's start with the letter C. So letter C means continue studying. That's your very purpose of being here now, to study, to learn, and to become professional medical technology someday. So you should not be frightened with this pandemic. It is not there to stop you from studying. Especially now that we are online, you're safe, and take up bedtime studying rather than catching up Netflix. Take time to review your study notes about an upcoming test. Recent studies have shown that our brains are good at retaining information we take in just before resting. Break up marathon study sessions. Instead of spending 10 straight hours cramming for that microbiology exam, try breaking up study session into smaller segments. Your mental energy will thank you, and you'll find it's easier to remember things. Create study schedule. Like eating breakfast or working out at the same time, students who create a study routine and have the discipline to stick to it are able to study information over a longer amount of time instead of staying up late the night before. Connect with other focused students. No matter the facet of life, focused and successful people inspire those they're around. They find a study buddy whose work ethics you admire and set up an online review session with them. You have to clear up the space. Don't keep all those clutters around you. So while it may seem counterintuitive to take extra time to clean your room or often before settling down to study, a study found out that people who keep their spaces clean are able to process information and focus better. Shut off technology. When you sit down to study, put your phone on silent and set do not disturb messages on any online messaging services. This will help you from getting sidetracked. Then you have to take your own notes. When listening to a webinar lecture, don't rely on getting notes from other classmates. We each have our own style of note-taking, and chances are you won't understand as much of the information if you just read their notes rather than taking your own. Ask for help. If you're studying and realize you don't understand a concept theory, reach out to your professor or classmates as soon as possible for clarification rather than trying to go it on your own. Take advantage of online resources. As shown throughout this guide, you are tons of apps to help students study, ranging from time practice quizzes to flashcards. Use this to better prepare for an exam and get in the mindset of what to expect. Stay mentally and physically healthy. Online students are likely to spend more time at their computer than traditional learners, making it imperative to take breaks, go on walks, get the recommended amount of sleep, and eat foods that nourish their bodies. Okay, so the next role is for you to overcome stress, fear, and worry. Next slide, please. So understanding your anxiety, first you have to understand your anxiety. It's frightening time. You're in the midst of you're in the midst of a worldwide pandemic with many places at least partially shut down and others struggling to reopen safely. Second, you have to stay informed, but don't obsessively check the news. Okay, so seek to trustworthy sources only, such as the CDC, the WHO. Limit how often you check for updates. Stay away from media if you start feeling overwhelmed. Ask someone reliable to share important updates. Be careful of what you share. Then focus on things you can control only. Then the next slide, please. The next role for you is to practice non-stop healthy habits. Okay, so what are these habits? By washing your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds with soap and water or a hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Avoiding touching your face, particularly your nose, your eyes, and mouth. Staying home as much as possible, even if you don't feel sick. Avoiding crowds and gathering of 10 or more people. Avoiding all non-essential shopping and travel. Keeping 6 feet of distance between yourself and others when out. Getting plenty of sleeps, which helps support your immune system. Following all recommendations from healthy authorities. Then you have to maintain a routine as best as you can. Take time out for activities you enjoy and find ways to exercise. Avoid self-medicating. Take up a relaxation practice. Okay, for the next role is question. That means say you have to ask question. You stay curious. Keep on asking questions. This should guide you in your studies, in doing your research. Why is it important? Because it makes your mind active instead of passive. Curious people always ask questions and search for answers in their minds. Their minds are always active since the mind is like a muscle which becomes stronger through continual exercise. The mental exercise caused by curiosity makes your mind stronger and stronger. It makes your mind observant of new ideas. When you are curious about something, your mind expects and anticipates new ideas related to it. When the ideas come, they will soon be recognized. With curiosity, the ideas may pass right in front of you, and yet you miss them because your mind is not prepared to recognize them. Just think how many great ideas may have lost due to lack of curiosity. Then asking questions or keeping curious opens up new world and possibilities. By being curious, you will be able to see new world and possibilities which are normally visible. They are hidden behind the surface of normal life, and it takes a curious mind to look beneath the surface and discover this new world and possibilities. Then the next role is for you to unite. This is what you are here now in this event, to initiate the unification or a network of the ASEAN students, which we have already had in our agenda in the management board meeting. And hopefully, your group, a united group among ASEAN students of medical technology, will have their own organization by the end of this year. And this should be an initiative taken up by your group. Congratulations, this dynamic group of students, the Matelki, and of course to the Vice President-elect now. This is your initiative, Dr. Sham. So in unity is a powerful tool for achieving shared goals and objectives in life. Unity brings common cause or objective. Unity brings stress-free life as students. Responsibilities get shared. Unity is essential for saving an institution, your culture, or even the entire nation. Unity promotes peace and harmony among students. Unity among students saves them from ignorance, crimes, corruption, and calamities. Unity protects the integrity by invoking the feeling of oneness among students. And lastly, unity increases strengths, good for the school, important in a team, and increases sportsmanship. So the next thing that you do is a very practical thing. Your role is to educate yourself, continue educating yourself, as well as educating other people. You have a lot of assignments to do now. We are in the middle of the pandemic. You go out and educate. Not going out, of course, you educate them online now because you have to share what are supposed to be these measures that we have to observe during this time of pandemic. And of course, for the last, to complete our spelling of the conquer is to be responsible. You have to follow guidelines for preventing the spread of the virus. Even if you are not in a high-risk group, staying at home, washing your hands frequently, and avoiding contact with others can help save the lives of the most vulnerable in your community and prevent overburdening the healthcare system. Reach out to others in need. If you know people in your community who are isolated, particularly the elderly or disabled, you can still or offer support. Perhaps an older neighbor needs help with groceries or for filling prescriptions. You can always leave packages on their doorstep to avoid direct contact. Or maybe they just need to hear a friendly, reassuring voice over the phone. Many local social media groups can help put you in touch with vulnerable people in your area. Also, donate to food banks. Hoarding has reduced supplies to food banks in many areas, while unemployment and economic difficulties have greatly increased demand. Be calm always, be a calming influence. If friends or loved ones are panicking, try to help them gain some perspective on the situation. Instead of scaremongering or giving credence to false rumors, refer them to reputable news sources. Being positive, uplifting influence in these anxious times can help you feel better about your own situation. Then, of course, be kind to others. An infectious disease is not connected to any racial ethnic group. So speak up if you hear negative stereotypes that only promote prejudice. With the right outlook and intention, we can all ensure that kindness and charity spread throughout our communities even faster than this virus. So the next slide is, of course, for us to keep on praying. We shall overcome here. This God has planned for us, and it's not the end of us. Next slide. Okay, thanks God for the gift of life. The next, thanks always your loved ones. And lastly, last slide, please. Thank you for listening. Good morning. Maraming salamat po. That ends my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Ebuen, for your nice presentation. This is very basic, but important for the student to really do what you talk. They should continuing study. They should overcome stress. Also, do not stop the healthy habits. Question, be curious. Unite, educating themselves, and be responsible about this pandemic, because they also have a role to end this global pandemic, especially in their region. Thank you so much, Mr. Ebuen. After this fruitful insight from Mr. Ebuen, we will invite the second speaker. He is Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazil, and I will read out his curriculum vitae before we begin. Good morning, Mr. Nazil.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay. His name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazil Saleh, PhD. You have you born in June 17, 1972. The country is in Malaysia. Your education background, you are Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Sciences in University of Putra, Malaysia in 2003. Master of Science in Biochemistry Toxicology in the same university, University of Putra, Malaysia. And then you are Bachelor Honor of Biomedical Sciences in University of Bradford in UK. Your occupation now is molecular biology expert, and then scientist, International Federation of Biomedical Laboratory Science. You are also he is also Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International, PICOMS International University in Malaysia. Adjunct professor, School of Medical Laboratory Polytechnic Medik Pharma Husada, Mataram, Indonesia, in Lombok. And then his career history is Associate Professor of Faculty Biomedical and Health Sciences, UNISAL, 2010 to date. and then Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International of Pusrawi International College of Medical Sciences, then Deputy Dean Research and Postgraduate of Faculty of Engineering and Life Sciences, UNISAL, after rationalization faculties, September 2016 to September 2019. Okay, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Your time is 30 minutes, and I will remind you 5 minutes before your time is out. The floor is yours now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Wimba, our moderator this morning. Thank you for introducing me. Very good kind of view of my CV. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boy and girl. Thank you all of you for joining the virtual Medical Laboratory Technology Student Conference organized by Imaltalki Indonesia. As someone once said, the show must be go on. Not that this is a show, but I appreciate your effort, especially from Imaltalki, to be together virtually. I would like to congratulate Imaltalki managed to organize the conference among Asian medical laboratory technology students during the COVID-19 pandemic around the Asian country. You are the future frontliners and hero of the nation. Okay, the topic given to me is the impact and the role of South Asian and medical laboratory technology collaboration. I'm having problem with the
Do you share your own screen?
Yeah,
or...
hang on.
Okay. Yeah, or maybe we can ask the committee to share your presentation. Is that good?
Can you allow me to share the screen because I can't go
okay.
in. Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I think now it's good. Yeah.
And the role of South Asian ASEAN medical laboratory technologies and collaboration. Okay, the first thing what we have to do, we have to look on the SDG 17 SDG. Do you see my slide?
Yes, I can see your slide.
All right, okay. So we have to go on the SDG 17, which is a very important, especially on the SDG goal number 4, which is a quality education, which is to ensure that inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, which is a very important for United Nations cascade the goals to Asian, and finally in Malaysia we follow the guidelines and the framework from 2013 to 2015. 2025, and the goal for SDG 17 on number 4 should be until 2030. Next slide. All right, if you can see from here, you can, in under SDG number 4, we have 10 aims or goals, which is very important for our, especially for Asian country, which is to give the good education, either in either to sustain, okay, to development, and also to goal for this citizenship. Between this is very important, and also to expand higher education on the scholarship for developing countries, which is, I think, majority Asian countries, in the cluster 2 and also in cluster 3. So in other way around, to put this effort, the collaboration among ASEAN is a very important. So that's why if we can see from the angles that already documented in the in the guidelines, which is to do the inbounds and also in outbounds mobility. Okay. Okay, so if you can see from here, from the slide on the figure 1, they're talking about the collaboration model for ASEAN University Network. So which is very important on the process. We have the collaboration policy, we have the awareness among the teachers and also the students, and also the language, because in inbounds and outbounds mobility, we have to talking about the same level. So that means in another way around, we're talking about the language is a very important, whereby we're using the English as the medium in to collaborate between one country to another countries. And another thing, we look also on the collaboration principle or the mutual benefit between one institution to another institution. And we're talking about the one university to another university in ASEAN country, and also we're talking about the industrial all over the world, including ASEAN. And we put trust, because when we talk about the collaboration, most probably all the information when we do together must be trusted. Okay, because for example, we talk about the research, the finding of the research should be, we have to put at trust, and also we have to initiate the basic activities between mobility program between one country to another countries. Okay, the next slide. All right, we look on the Asian education framework. Okay, we can see from here is a 10 shift is a very important, which is we have to produce the holistic graduates with the entrepreneurship and also balanced graduates, which is this is a very important and discipline to put together between graduates, because the end of the day we can produce the good graduates with the 6 domains, which is in the ethics, spiritual, leadership, nationality and language, and also skill and knowledge. This is a very important to produce the 10 shift, the framework already discussed either in Asian and also in the United Nations. Next slide, please. All right. So if we can see here, the aims and also the framework, and also to produce the student and graduate with the attributes, which is we can see from here in the 6 element is a very important. The first one, we're talking about the ethics and spirituality. This is what we try to produce our graduates, and we also embedded the leadership shield. What I mean, the leadership skill is a very important during the inbounds and also the outbounds mobility, and also the national identity, language, thinking skill is, I think, is a more important, because from that we can produce a good graduates, and finally to using the knowledge in every single aspect. Okay, next part. All right, if we can see from here what the framework already discussed, we also look into from the education, we're talking about the trainings, we're talking about the constellation, we're talking about the exploration, we're talking about the progression, we're talking about the independence, and also we're talking about the leadership. If you can see from here, what is the AMST forecast in another 2 or 3 years from now, we have to come out is the framework across the medical research and also the medical training, because we try to produce like the benchmark accreditation between ASEAN countries. So the end of the day, the level and also the understanding in the medical diagnostic between ASEAN country are identical. Okay, it's a good for us to strengthen the benchmark among the ASEAN and the other country from the ASEAN. They can work in other ASEAN country as well. Okay, next slide. Okay, if we can see from this slide, actually you can see from various angle. Okay, so from the about 53% people carry outside from the sign, because if we look from our graduates, okay, so it's about 53%. They are normally involved in the management, for example, and it's about 17% non-university research and also industry government, and about 26% is a permanent staff, if you can see from the graph, and also is about 30% in early career in the research. This is already presented in this Century 2020, whereby they discuss about where is the future heading to our graduates, because this is a very important for our ASEAN country to focus where are we heading in our graduate, especially in the medical laboratory technologies. Next slide. All right. If we can see from here, this is the ASEAN network already discussed, which is we have 3 inbounds and outbounds mobility. If you can see from here, we already proposed the internship and also elective modules, which is majority all the program have this kind of modules. And then we also have the research collaboration between one institution to another institution. And we also allow from institution also involved in the in the industry setup as well, which is a very important, whereby the graduates can apply the skill, the knowledge that they have in the university to implement it in the in the industry. And finally, they also have the inbounds and also outbound study visit and also summer camp. So this is whereby they give the exposure to the students all over the world to have the the experience in terms of the the exchange of the knowledge and also experience in the culture. Okay, the next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is another that we are looking for in the ASMT. We're talking about the quadruplex partnership is a very important. We're talking about the symbiotic partnership. We're talking about the pipeline for the industry, which is, I think, a lot of the, universities nowadays, they put the, the 2U, 2I, which is 2 years in university and another 2 years in industry, to ensure that the student have the spirit and also the exposure in the industry. And nowadays we're talking about the driving innovation, because now is we're talking about the IR 4.0, which is a very important to explore the innovation either in the in the teaching and also in the learning using the innovation platform. And finally, to do the two-way relationship. Okay, this is between industry and also the university, because the end of the day, we can also cascade all the information from the university to the industrial. Next slide. Okay, if we can see from here, the output from the global research impact, because when we do the exchange program, inbounds and outbounds, we can produce the more than published reportable journals between two countries. And then we can see the review and also the citation between the fellows, researcher between two institutions will be goes up. And then now this is about 163 universities and also country involved in the mobility program between one country to another countries. Next slide. All right, that's why it's a very important, because we also discussed in the ASEAN Association Medical Technology, whereby we project for 2030, most probably we have a partnership engagement among the institution all over the ASEAN, and we believe and we projected most probably during that time we have a very good collaboration between ASEAN country, and we are projected to have the integrated the laboratory amongst ASEAN. Next slide. Next slide. All right, this is what we aiming by 2030s or 2025 earliest, the IR 4.0 integrated laboratories within the ASEAN country, which is we can communicate digitalize, and we can exchange all the information around the ASEAN country to get a good output, and also we have a very good synergy collaboration between ASEAN country, either in medical technology diagnostic, we're talking about the research, and also we're talking about the education. Okay, before I end the presentation today, I have something to share, that the experience that we have good inbounds and outbounds mobility between a few ASEAN countries, because we projected last year, most probably we have a very good inbounds because of the pandemic. So I can share some memories. Next slide. Okay, next slide.
I think this is your last slide.
I think I have another video actually to share to everyone.
Okay.
I think there is another one slide because I cannot control from mine.
Oh yeah,
Because
okay.
that's why it's a little bit hanging. All right. With that, I end my presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nazil. You have a very interesting presentation, especially about the framework of Asian MLT education. Let's continue to our third speaker, Mr. Fatah. For the participants who want to ask the questions for our three speakers, please don't be hesitate to fill the Slido link and put your question there, and we will ask your questions to all the speakers after the third speaker finish his presentation. Okay, the third speaker is Mr. Miswar Fatah, MSc. He will talk about MLT job and global competition. Before we begin, I will read out the curriculum vitae of Mr. Fatah. His name is Dr. Miswar Fatah, MSc. He born in June 6, 1978. His country is Indonesia. He has a background Doctor of Medicine in University of Hasanuddin 2012, and then Master of Science in Clinical Chemistry and Biomedicine in the same university in 2006. Before he go for the master, he had Bachelor of Chemistry in University of Hasanuddin in 2002. His current position for now is specialty and research laboratory manager in Prodia Clinical Laboratory, and then he is also vice president of Patalki from 2017 until now, and member of Collegium Patalki from 2015 until now. After that, he is also the member of Scientific and Education Committee for EACC Indonesia Association for Clinical Chemistry. He is also president of Asian Association of Clinical Laboratory Scientists, or AACLS, from 2018 until now. Also corresponding member Scientific Committee Asia Pacific Federation for Clinical Chemistry from 2010 until now. For Mr. Miswar Fatah, you have 30 minutes to present your ideas. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Wimba,
Yeah.
for your introduction. Nice to meet you all for medical laboratory student around Southeast Asia. I will share my slide. Okay, you can see my slides.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for Wimba to introduce me and committee medical laboratory that student conference. Good morning, everyone. I will share about the medical laboratory technology career and what's global challenge. I hope I have a lot of time to discuss this. I will inform what the future trend in laboratory medicine. So you all of as students, you can know what's a trend to become what you can face after you finish your study. First, we can facing with the more specialized and unique tests. So a lot of new tests. Maybe in the school you only get only 200, 300 type of tests, but after you work more a lot of tests in the hospital in laboratory medicine ready available now. So you need to learn more about the specialized and unique tests. And technology will become more simple technology, and result can be more faster. And technology shifting from single test to multiplex test and syndrome-based test. So you need to prepare to learn. You need to change your uh, learning styles because the future will be changed. And increase molecular technique. This is because of pandemic. I will explain more about this in the next slide. And increase the POCT molecular testing. And the future, less sample and mini sample will be phase to all of medical laboratory, and high personalized tests. So a lot of tests, not only uh, treat the patient or like related for diagnosis, but for personalized tests too. And high IT utilization. So all students need to prepare to learn about the IT computer based or bioinformatics, because this is, will be a great career for tomorrow, because we need to analyze big data, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence in laboratory medicine. And in laboratory medicine will be less gap from home care testing, because now some tests in home available, and healthcare like for hospital and research facility, because this is three areas will be important for your career for tomorrow. And will be increased tests related for preventive testing, and will be increased as direct customer testing or consumer testing, or like tests go home, because simple tests will be running in the home, not only in the hospital or in laboratory medicine. So we need to uh, increase our capability to learn more sophisticated technology in the future. This is example technology. Now we learn urinalysis in the lab. Mostly we utilize in the hospital, in the laboratory. But now some test is moving to the home. Like this is urinalysis, but attached to the pampers, to their diapers. So the patient can do the test urinalysis very simple. So simple test will be go to home, and we need to learn about this is tomorrow. Yeah, and test will be less sample like this. If we now we take in blood a lot of, but now technology more simple, so they need more little sample, no more need a lot of sample. They only need small samples. So this is uh, sampling style is will be changed tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow, because it's related pandemic too, less patient willingness to come to the laboratory. They want to take sample in the home. So the future, the sampling is by patient, not only by technologies. Sampling can do by the patient too. And we know the migration of the technology from laboratory sample to lab and lab to samples. And the third wave is technology is wearing the lab. So maybe some lab testing in the like a tattoo in the our body that attached. On the future, laboratory will be implanted into our body. So this is a four technological wave in biological monitoring. So you are as young generation will be face this not yet available, but you will become to facing with this technology because you are uh, next generation in laboratory medicine. As I want to inform about the analogy of the multi-layer Google Map. We know all of us now utilize this map because online shopping of food delivery is based on this technology too. And utilization in the laboratory medicine will increase too because tomorrow patient data, more detailed data, more deep information like for genomic, epigenomic, microbiome, so DNA testing, genetics testing will be increased. And so we can inform about the medical technologies or you are future as a data miner. You collect the data from patient a lot of, so we need to translate to more informative patient similar what Google Maps doing now. So you need to learn this for future because if you have skill capability for this, so you are next future math tech. So you need to learn about this as information. This is a lot of testing will be available tomorrow, like for a geographical information system for human being. So we need to combine this data, and you need to become more specialized next to become more expert, like for specialized in exposome, epigenome, microbiome, metabolome, proteome, and transcriptome, especially in laboratory medicines aspect. So you can learn more deep from this different technology. And I inform about the this is what I inform of in my first slide. Informal care, healthcare, and biomedical research will be not separated, but will be more integrated. So if you work in the healthcare, maybe you will connect to medical research, or you can relate it with informal care. So you need to learn how to communicate with others too. So you need to not only to need to learn about the what technology available now, but you need to learn how to communication, how to integrate, and mostly they need to utilize the IT. So you need to learn IT based on this framework. So a lot of technology available now. So you need to learn more faster about this because I know, I understand not all medical schools, they have this technology. This technology you need to learn. Like now in pandemic, PCR technology is booming. So you need to learn about this. PCR, they have a lot of real-time PCR, digital PCR, Sanger sequencing, viral sequencing, microarray, mass array, NGS. I understand maybe some school only learn about the PCR in real time. So you need to learn about this. Even you not touch this technology, but you need to learn. You can view from YouTube, from other source online learning to learn about this technology. And another area in atomic trace element, metabolomic, proteomic, immunoassay testing, you need to learn about this technology too for UV phase, FTIR, ELISA, immunohistochemistry, XMAP technology, flow cytometry, HPLC, GCMS, LCMS, because this is will your future tools, will be your future toys to doing in the laboratory. And to integrate of all of this technology, you need to learn about bioinformatics. So this is very, very important in the future for your career if you learn about the bioinformatics in data management because all of data we produce in the laboratory medicine we need to elaborate, we need to analyze using bioinformatics. So this is not much in Indonesia, so you include in Southeast Asia is not much, so you need to learn about this so you can increase your future career for next. And a lot of things we need to learn today, because as same as I look at here, biomarker, a lot of biomarker available now, more than 120,000 tests available. And if we need to learn, they need to correlate with some disease, a sample type, same method, timing and biological variation. And we need to cut off reference interval and quality assurance. So if you want to become a great student, you need to learn more faster. But fortunately, you have technology, you have internet, you have online system. You can learn from the another a lot of source, not limited only in library, but you can learning from anywhere. And I will inform about what the general career after you finish your study. A lot of career actually in, like in career field in business. So a lot of medical lab technologies is in the business, and some in, if you are related to natural search, in art, and in engineering, and today we will focus on about health science technology related to biotechnology and research development, what Dr. Nazil, Prof. Nazil inform about today, and most market in diagnostic service and support service, like for marketing in for laboratory medicines, or consultant in laboratory medicine for as a support service, and health informatics, like for bioinformatics to manage data, include the health informatics and therapeutic service. So this is a general career in health science and technology. And for specific career in medical laboratory scientist, a lot of career in laboratory scientist. So we need to more specialize what you have. Like for in hospital, they divide by based on the specialized, like for andrology, fertility testing. So if you want to enroll in hospital in andrology, so you need to add your capability in andrology or fertility testing, like for blood bank, bone marrow, cell marker, coagulation, computer science. So this is a lot of, and the key like a flow cytometry and cytology and infection control, like in microbiology and molecular diagnostics. So a lot of in hospital depend of what your experience. So I support you to doing internship. What the Prof. Nasir say, you need to internship to advance your knowledge in this area and more easy to upgrade your career for after you work. And healthcare agency, this is potential too, like for crime laboratory scientists. Some Patelki member is work in crime laboratory scientists too, and healthcare administrative and management information include in the education, because what a lot of career in education available after, especially if you continue your education to master degree or PhD degree, so more easy to enter to education career. And other professional roles mostly related with medical laboratory scientists. And for industry a lot of career for related to medical laboratory scientists. And this is a general career in laboratory medicines. First, this is from biotechnology. You can become a technical support, marketing, sales, technical writer, or you can become to in forensic as a data analysis, in research, especially in University of Medical Center and like on Center of Control Disease, and as mostly career in medical laboratory science is in hospital or clinical laboratory. 75% of graduates from medical laboratory science as in hospital. They come up in hematology laboratory, microbiology laboratory, immunology laboratory, toxicology, pathology, urinalysis, virology, chemistry, and point of care testing. And 5% in academic, if, as a teacher, as a lecturer, research, and program management. and 5% in industry, in instrument manufacturing, technical service representative, and product development and marketing sales, and around 10% in other area. This is you become your career future after you finish your study. And in the clinical laboratory, we can look at a variety specialistic. In urinalysis, you can learn about the cellular and chemical analysis of urine and other body fluids. In clinical chemistry, we know all of this: hematology, immunohematology, clinical microbiology, and immunology. So you will expert in this, depend of your what your patient. If you patient in hematology, so you can more deep learning in hematology, so you more easy to enter a career in hematology laboratory. As a overview of distribution of workforce today, in chemistry and in genetics, in others is now increased in microbiology, especially in pandemic. This is changed every time. And I will inform about the increase of molecular testing and opportunity career. I will show you about the impact of pandemic of the molecular testing. So I hope all of you students finish about the PCR knowledge and PCR skill. You must can doing DNA extraction. You must expert in PCR real time analysis, because I will show today in the beginning, in the April, in Indonesia, only 32 laboratory have or they have capability doing PCR testing, and they only 3,000 sample per day. But after pandemic, highly translation of molecular testing in only in 6 months, now 560 laboratory they have PCR laboratory, and they can testing 73,000 sample per day. So this is a lot of numbers. So this is a transition. So now after you finish your study, you enter to the lab. All of laboratory now they have a PCR testing. So you need to expert in PCR and in molecular testing, because uh, now the number of testing increased 500 times, 500% compared with before pandemic. So you need to prepare skillful in molecular testing. This is impact increase of availability on molecular testing in clinical laboratory. First, most culture technology will move to the molecular. So it's why I informed you need to prepare your molecular skill, and will be reduced send out molecular tests from smaller hospital to reference hospital. The key message is if you work in smaller hospital, they have PCR testing too. So you need to learn about this, and will be expanding oncology, neurological, immunological, in immunological testing, because mostly this is only for immunoassays, but now moving to molecular testing, and will be increased POCT molecular, increase in patient-centric molecular testing. So this is, I think, futuristic career if you expert in molecular testing. This is career pathway based on level from basic. After you finish, you can work as medical lab technologist. If you increase your capability, experience in hospital, your medical, you can be increased as medical lab scientist, especially if you continue your education. And after long term, you work in hospital, you can increase to intermediate. You can become a senior medical laboratory scientist if you work in research area. If you work in education, you can become senior medical laboratory sciences as educators. In clinical, you can senior medical laboratory sciences in clinical in or in management. So depend of your career, you can choose what your preference from now. This is example career in Indonesia. I think it's, some countries they have a similarity. They have level depend of the how long they work and how much experience they have. I will inform about the potential international career and global change. First, if you want to work as international, you need to cert international certifications. If you want to take a international certification, depend of your education and your experience in hospital or in the laboratory. You can take as a technician in medical laboratory technician in general, or histotechnician or phlebotomist. This is a technician base. Of you can increase as medical laboratory scientist if your education is a bachelor. You can if you as a general, if you have a specialist in blood banking, you can take this certification international or chemistry, cytogenetic, cytotechnologies, gynecology, cytologies, in hematology, and histotechnologies, microbiology, and molecular biology, international blood banking. And you can become to a specialist too in cytogenetic, hematology, microbiology, and molecular biology. So you need to increase your capability. So you need to uh, focus and what area you want to focus in your career. This is similar what with before my slides. So this is example future new career pathway in medical laboratory technologies. First, because post-pandemic molecular testing increase, you can become molecular development test in laboratory medicine. And the second, you can become virtual consultant in laboratory medicine and artificial intelligence trainer for laboratory testing. You can become data analysts in laboratory medicine, virtual reality educators in laboratory medicine, multi-omic technology in laboratory medicine, and trait predictor based on genetic in laboratory medicine. So this is a new area. Will if you are very interested in it, you need to more focus your research and your internship. This is example. If you want to become a genetic predictor, so you need to learn about the bioinformatics. Uh, for artificial intelligence, we know they have capability to predict. We know smartphone they have capability to doing this, and now they translate this to now this is cell smile, this is cell smile, this is cell smiles, or this is cells falling in love. They can detect too, and actually this technology utilized not only for this is only for fun, but they can utilize for detect malaria, for detect TB based on or parasites based on artificial intelligence. And laboratory change every time. Like for microscope, they change from 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 to 4.0. So mostly related technology. And this is examples. Cell phone based can do with molecular can do the testing with hematology using smartphones. This is tools from one technology from India. The name is Sonit. Yeah. So the cell phone integrate with the microscope with digital motorized microscope, so they can moving robotic, and after that they can take a picture, and they relate it to clouds to with using artificial intelligence, so they can research, they can count a number of leukocytes, number of RBC, and include it for differentiation. And this is example technology from glucometer. So technology is not yet implant, but they only attach in the body. So this is example technology in glucometer. So the patients can real time detect their blood level glucose. So technology will be changed. Maybe this technology we think this only in the lab, but the future they're moving to the home like this for blood test glucose. They very moving to, and this test not only in the home, but they can integrate with the hospitals. Though the data can real times connect to the hospital, so they can monitor in the laboratory. So the future maybe we only take the result from the patient, not testing for some tests, but we get results. And this is for urine analyzer for 1.0. Maybe you learn in the schools how to burn the tube and move to the strip base and using instruments, and now using cell phone base. This is examples technology using cell phone base. Technology will be moved more simple. This is examples because some patient, especially in pandemic, no more people want to willing to come to the lab because they uh, afraid can infected with COVID-19. So some urine test now can become in home, so more easy because they're using artificial intelligence chatbot to learn to the patient how they're doing the test. So more easy test, more simple test will be go to the home. And this is example for spam analysis. Spam analysis, they will go to the home. Not only they're doing in the lab, but patient can do uh, they by themselves. This is, I think, this we think only available in the lab. Only medical laboratory technologies can doing this, but with technology, this technology can send to the home, and the patient can do using a microscope digital connected to the cell phone. And now patients, especially if the patient same came to the lab, especially like for sperm analysis, so they can do by themselves. This is just example. I think a lot of technology will be go to the home because this is more simple. So as student, you need to learn more uh, with more advanced technology. So now everyone can doing spam analysis, not only as medical technologies, but we need to learn how to inform to the patient how they do it with standardized method, so they doing it good things. So the global challenge for you as a student is student need to change their learning style, because your future career is very different with my career, with all medical laboratory career, very different. So you need to learn, change your learning styles. Medical laboratory students must balance high hard skill. You can do pipetting, you can do take the sample, you can do running PCR, but you need to increase your high soft skill. You need to learn how to interpret data, how to combine the data. So because this is pandemic times, not easy to doing hard skill. So you need to increase your high soft skill. You can do by increased course, online learning, and you need to internship. I think you have opportunity now because a lot of laboratory open to internship in the pandemic because shortage of the medical laboratory technology. So you can do internship now. Don't afraid about the infectious because we all medical technology actually protect by themselves. And now student can learn from anyone. You can learn from Prof. Nazir. You can learn from Prof. Bernard. Even you stay in the home, you can learn anywhere. You can learn anytime because this is online in the YouTube. So you can learn every time, not only at this time. So your learning style is really changed with my learning style in my study. So I close my presentation with this slides, the video, window of knowledge. This is a bird they cannot fly. They cannot fly, but after they use it virtual reality, they can see how this bird can sky. It's very nice in the sky. So they highly motivate to fly because they when they look at the flight simulator, it's very nice in the between uh, in the sky. It's very nice. So they have very motivate and they try to doing to fly every time after they see the beautiful of the sky, and they try very hard. this is like a student if they have highly motivated. If you know what your dream, I think you can try to learn more faster, more hard. After you know everything is nice in my career. So like this bird, they after they try every time, at the end they can fly. Different with other students that don't want to try, they still cannot fly. So I hope you still learn to keep your spirit to learning. So my slide, this is my slide expand to see the window of life by internship. You can look at the YouTube, a lot of channels, online course, and with you look at a window of life, you will be more motivated as student, and you can reaching for better dreams. I hope you can enjoy as students because this is God's window, God's period for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fatah, for your nice presentation. It is such a nice feeling to know our prospective future as MLT, and then what will be next as a technology in clinical laboratory. Okay, now we going to the panel discussion session. We have 3 speakers that will answer all the questions that already collected in our Slido link. I will read out some questions that will answer by the specific speaker. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, the first question is from anonymous, unfortunately. Hello, I have a question. In this pandemic, there are different learning methods. For example, e-learning. In your opinion, how medical student can learning without practice? Maybe 3 speakers can answer this question. Maybe start from Mr. Ebwen.
May I know again the question, please?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the question is, in this pandemic, there are different learning methods. For example, e-learning or online learning. In your opinion, how medical lab student can learning without practice? Because maybe we are in the vocational mode of learning. How can MLT student cope with the competency if there is no practice?
Okay, so that is a very good question for us to answer in the academy. The problem is not only located, or it's not only localized in your country. The problem of internship is an international problem. It's a worldwide problem. So regarding your hands-on, definitely I agree with you that we need the internship program or a hands-on component for you to have an actual performance on diagnostic tests is very necessary for everybody, so that when you start working as an entry-level medical technologist, then you know what you're doing in your respective employment places. However, this does not put us into isolation. We, as academic planners here in the Philippines, we recognize the problem. Then we have adopted what we call a flexible learning system, or sometimes we call it a virtual or a blended, a combination of online and offline activities that would enhance the competencies of our students. Your hands-on dexterity, your performance or actual performance is just only one among those competencies that a medical technology should achieve. And the rest, probably 80 to 90% could be achieved online. All those knowledge application could be achieved online. And as I've said, there's only one which we shall not be able to comply fully, and that is your hands-on practice. However, we are not remiss on this part because we have now an alternative to at least partially achieve your skills in the actual performance of a diagnostic test, that is through virtual or alternative mode of learning. We have a Lobster, we have a lot of platform available that at least familiarize you to the procedure, so that when you actually go to actual performance of the test, you know the steps, and the only thing left for you is to develop your reflexes or your hands-on dexterity to come out with the best result. Okay, if this is acceptable, yes, because as I've said, no one in the world is prepared by this country, and we are all affected, and we are all in the dilemma on how can we fulfill your internship fully. But given the situation, our employers knows this, our government regulators, I mean the licensure examination people or agencies knows this, and this will not be a problem, or they will not put you into hold so that you will not be able to graduate. They will graduate you definitely. And on the part of your employer, and if employer, let's say your future employer in the clinical laboratory in the hospital, they know that you've been in your studies in the middle of the pandemic. They will not let you proceed with your work without being you trained. So if you remember, you have your probationary time, then you have to be trained for actual performance of diagnosis. You have your externship program, because as I've said, everybody is a victim. Everyone is a victim, not one is spared from this. So we have to unite, we have to come out with a common solution which should be acceptable to everybody, so that everybody will move on. And that includes medical technology profession. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edwin, for your opinion. Maybe Mr. Nazil want to add your opinion regarding this question.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. It's very relevant nowadays. In Malaysia, we have a few strategy, which is we implemented virtual. For the lecture, we do a virtual, and then we have a hybrid. And then the third category, we call the student come back, but normally for student in final year student. So for the internship, it's a compulsory. This is, I think, the best way for us to expose. But we have a method, because the numbers of students we reduce, and then we have a partial involved in the lab. And basically, the guidelines from our ministry, the student should be finished at least 80%. The practical session. And for the certain program, for example, like medical laboratory, we never stop student to do the internship and also the practical, because this is the real things that they have to to expose during the pandemic, but they have to follow very tight SOP. Except for the numbers of students come back to the campus, we limit the numbers. So basically, we have the 5 categories. The first one, we allow the first year student come back to the campus. The student year 2 and year 3, they have to do the virtual class session. But the practical, normally we pull at the end of the session. So that means they have to come back to do the pull of the practical session in the lab. So basically, we have to comply the guidelines by WHO and also the guidelines from our ministry. So the lab section will be limit the numbers. For example, like the lab can using up to 80 students. So normally we reduce to 60 students. So they have they have to follow the physical distancings, and then they have to using the lab accordingly to the hours. So because when the student enter to the lab, so they have the time frame that we given to our students. That is what we implemented right now. And we target by March, all the students will be come back fully to the campus.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Let's go to Mr. Fatah.
Thank you. I think it's only simple because this is a lot of online system in the pandemic era. So the best way is you need to blend it with internship. So what the Prof. Nazil says is very important now. And in Indonesia, fortunately, because government regulation, they push students to involve in the pandemic era so they can do internship. And for especially some courses, maybe not easy to learn by online. You not the student must be creative. Not only you very depend by in the what college doing, but you need to take by yourselves, like for online course in ADX, Coursera, Code Academic, My Open Campus, Udemy. On you can look at the Mayo Clinic training, Arab Clinic, AACC training. So a lot of way you can do simulate the technical. Now we only doing in the by online, maybe theoretical, but to simulate the technical is very important. It's maybe just to additional form what the Prof. Bernard and Prof. Nasir informed to us. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the answer from the three speakers. Now we move to the second question. Okay. The second one has been answered, I think, with Mr. Ebuan. The second one is, maybe this is for Mr. Fatah. Technological advances will replace MLT skills and will make MLT students lose the opportunity to get jobs in MLT field. How can we deal with this situation?
Okay, this is a lot of question for me. Is I inform about the technology. They a lot of MLT is very afraid about their career if a lot of is automation and all of the doing by technology. Actually, technology not change MLT because if we doing with automation of advanced technology, so the volume of number of tests will be increased. So medical technologies need to more advanced to reflecting the testing. So the medical technology is must push to learn with advanced technology, not simple one, because every simple one technology will be moved to automation or will be moved to the home. So we need to learn with what advanced. It's why I inform about the what the future you will be faced. So you need to learn about that because the most simple will be take by automation. And actually automation not change the MLT, but only they change how we work. Only that, not change us. Thank you. I hope this can answer my that question.
Okay. So maybe I have follow-up questions. Do you think the curriculum of MLT schools, especially in Asian region, is ready for these challenges of development of technology development?
Yes.
Do you
I
think the school is ready?
Yes, I think in general, some college they prepare their student for that. It's why some colleges I look at, they try to doing a lot of internship with industrials, because mostly industrial they have newest technology, maybe not available in the campus. So this trick is very important to collaborate with industry to increase the capability with to prepare for next generation. But if the college not active to doing that, so I look at them, a lot of curriculum is actually not prepared for that. So they still the still the old way they doing. They prepare for now, not for future. It's very important to need to try to change the curriculum too, if we still doing the same. Maybe Prof Nasil can and Prof Werner can add for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, maybe Mr. Ebwen want to add
Okay,
some information.
so I will speak regarding the experience of the Philippines on how we prepare our curriculum. It's not a secret for everybody that our graduates are all over the world, and that means that our curriculum is at par internationally. We do review our curriculum every now and then regularly, at least every 3 years or every after graduating a particular curriculum to see the products. And we see to it also that everything is benchmarked. It will fit, or it is compatible with other curriculum of our prospect countries, because we are a service exporter country. We have a lot of graduates of medtech in the Philippines, but we cannot. Undeniably, most of us or most of our graduates seek employment outside of the Philippines. So the requirement, therefore, is for us to cope up with the demand of medical technology, especially on the skills. Then we have to match it with the international standards, or at least the minimum standards. And that means by doing a review periodically. That's what we do. Yes.
Okay, such a good strategy. To Mr. Nazil.
Okay, basically I agree with Dr. Miswa and also Mr. Bernard, because I think it's a very important nowadays, because we have ASMT, and actually we are in the process to come out with the framework for all the medical technology in Asian country, to come out with the benchmark every single curriculum. But I believe every single countries, they have their own accreditation bodies, which is they have to follow. But at the same time, we are encouraged all the universities, ASEAN universities, they have to get the others international accreditation, for example, like ASCP from USA, or they can also get from IBMS from United Kingdom, which is a very important, whereby we can measure our products. And beside that, I think a collaboration between one country to another country also is very important, because the end of the day, we can exchange the knowledge, and we also can bring the standard in terms of Asian product graduates, because the end of the day, we try to come out the ASEAN accreditation, whereby all the graduate from ASEAN, they can work in ASEAN country. Thank you.
Okay, I just know this information. So about Asian accreditation, how far it go for now? And you also mentioned in your presentation, if there is stand shift of Asian education framework, then my question is the same: how far it go for now?
All right. Thank you for the question. Actually, we are in ASEAN ASMT. We already come out with revise the curriculum between ASEAN medical technology. We are in the process to streamline and to discuss thoroughly what kind of element to ensure that the quality, the curriculum between one institution to another institution from the ASEAN up to to come out is the benchmark. What is the minimum and what is the maximum? This is still in our discussion, and we hope by another 2 years time we can come out with a proper framework to ensure that there is the element what we have to put in our curriculum to ensure that all the country can get the accreditation.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe data
Yeah.
data
May I
analysis.
add something also?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so to add on to the statement of Dr. Nasil, and what we're doing now in ASEAN is, of course, you know that it is the instructor which is the backbone of good transfer of knowledge. So another plan that we have now to work in the ASEAN or the ASMT is we are coming out with the professional standards for medical technology professors or teachers. So that would ensure that all those who are teaching or medical technology have the necessary skills to deliver the educational component of the profession. So that is this is very critical because your graduate speaks of the quality of your faculty in your institution. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, yes, precisely. So I also have a follow-up question then about the Asian collaboration. We talk about the framework, we talk about the minimum competency that will be the same in across Asian region. What is the challenges of Asian collaboration between MLT profession and MLT schools? And is it already good or how?
May I start with it? May I start the answer from my end? Okay. So I've been always dreaming of coming out with ASEAN collaboration. One, we call it now, we have actually this slogan in ASEAN that it's one ASMT, which means we are starting with this online education because this is the most appropriate thing now to do during this pandemic. But definitely we will get beyond it when we are allowed now for the face-to-face. But the critical thing that we have to address, number one, is of course we have to address a communication gap. That is number one thing that we have to work with. We might have, each one of us has our own national language, etc. But how can we share our expertise if we cannot come out with one language that could unite us, that would allow us to understand better others? So that's number one thing that I think is a great challenge for everyone. That's why when I talk with Dr. Sham, I said, Dr. Sham, having the English as our international language now, then probably we start working with this, we start engaging with students, probably a mentoring among them, and practice the skills of this skill in English speaking. But I'm not discounting on other things, like we are working on international mobility, that each of our graduate has the opportunity to go to Thailand, to go to Indonesia, to go to the Philippines probably. So the next thing is, of course, we have to also learn the respective languages of those countries we aim to go because of this objective of the ASEAN, borderless ASEAN. So how could I work in Indonesia if I don't know how to communicate with you? So these are very basic and very necessary and essential steps that we have to develop among our prospective professionals who will be working around entire ASEAN and of course around the entire world. Okay.
Thank you for your answer. Maybe Mr. Nazil want to add some
Okay,
insights.
regarding the the collaboration, I think I agree with all the speakers and panel, because the first thing we have to close the gap, okay, between one country to another country. But I believe on the technology, I think we have equal par between all the the ASEAN country when we're talking about the the knowledge, the way how the lecturers cascade all the knowledge to the student. I think that one we don't have any doubt, because this is the knowledge transfer. The issue is in terms of the technology, because when we're talking about the technology, most probably we have to see the country itself, because some country they are not rich, okay, they cannot buy all the the latest equipment, for example. So I think using the two way, the first thing we're talking about the exchange program, is a good exposure to the students, whereby they can go to the country that have equipment in terms of the laboratories. And the second one, we're talking about the 2U2I, the 2 years in university and 2 years in industry. That will be accelerate the students, the talents, and also to get the student ready using the skill when they are attached in the industry. Okay, for example, like we have so many medical medical laboratory services. I think during the pandemic, they can get a lot of exposure. We can put them in the the industrial. They can learn and they can get the new experience when they are deal with the industrial. This is another way how we want to accelerate the product, because the end of the day they are ready in terms of knowledge, skill, and also working in the real situation.
Thank you so much for your insight, Mr. Nazil. For Mr. Fatah, do you have?
I think enough. I think
okay.
Answer from Prof. Nasil and Prof. Bella is enough.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, because this is the student conference basically. Before we talk about the school's part, even though a student is part of the school, of course, then what can Asian MLT students do to collaborate and maybe create like create this like, I don't know, maybe a product, or maybe something to strengthen the collaboration between nations.
Okay, maybe I can first.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think this is what I know. Prof. Nasir already informed this, because this like his her dream. Because I think if a student want to increase their capability, they need to a lot of projects, exchange project with inter country. So if college increase the collaboration between students and project together, it will be great to increase the collaboration. So it's minimize the gap between country to. So it's very important. And not only project, the student exchange is very important, because this is can change the mindset of the student if they know the different lecture from other college, especially if they're different country, because they know they have new experience, because now the era of the experience based learning. So it's very important to increase these models, so the exchange and collaborations between students can increase. they can share what the best lecture in the college to another students too. It's very important to doing that. I think it's simple, but it can increase the overview of the students. Thank you.
Maybe online guest lecture will be nice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this, I think it's very important. So another international student, they can exchange with from another country.
Yeah, yeah, true. Maybe Mr. Ebwen or Mr. Nazil want to add your insights?
Yeah, so there are a lot actually that a student could do. It's not about the school, but the motivation of students that could help them finish their dream profession to be medical technologists. So they can actually do a lot. Like the institution just facilitate, just provide resources. And one, like for example, is yes, collaboration is is the magic word now for nowadays. Collaboration between foreign, what's this, between program exchange, faculty exchange, student exchange, technology exchange, etc. So that's it. All you have to do is do it now, not tomorrow. Move now, not later. So the ball is among our student leaders. The ball is among our higher institution. If you want your students to be an international par with the others, then we have to collaborate now. And I hope that before we end this year, there will be this unification among our students already and actively doing all these activities that we're not sharing here.
Okay, so don't worry for all the participants, which is MLT students in Asian, because we have Mr. Ebwen, Mr. Nazil, and Mr. Fatah that can influence all the stakeholders to support your collaboration across Asian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to Mr. Nazil, maybe?
Yeah, again, I think I would like to congratulate again what I mean to Imatalki, because you are already started actually, because you are the first what I mean bring all the Asian medical laboratory school to this conference. I think you have to prop what I mean to initiate what I mean this conference, even though virtually. So I think from this step, we can do more virtually, and later on, once the pandemic away, so we can do more on physical collaboration. I think, yeah, you have done a good job actually. You have done a good job.
May I ask? May I add something about this initiative of Indonesia?
Okay, of
yeah,
course.
it's been a good story. You know what? When I started benchmarking and groundworking for the establishment of the ASMT, I went to Bandung. And the first people in the first Indonesian medtech educators are coming from Bandung and coming all over Jakarta. But what inspired me is that there was this certain student from Yogyakarta, and I know him until now because he's my friend in FB. He's Mr. Asrari Puwadi II. He was been a student leader during his time, but now he is, I think, practicing as a journalist. And immediately during our conference with this group of students from Indonesia, he already tell me, sir, I want immediately the establishment of ASEAN Association of Medical Technology Students. And this is a dream come true for him. Should he learn about this, he will be happy now that the initiative of that students was finally pushed through. And I'm seeing the fruit. At the end of the year, we have this ASEAN Association Association of Medical Technology Students. You go on. Congratulations, Imatelki. So same place, same student. Now you are putting it into reality. And that's the story behind this. The initiative of that guy now has come into fruition. And that is Mr. Asari Puwadi. Tell him, he is now a journalist. Probably you are reading his articles.
Okay, he is my friend actually, so I know him. Yeah, I will tell him then.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Okay, maybe we go to some just some few questions before we end our session. Maybe there will be two last questions for us. Okay, from Dila Sinansari. My question is addressed to the second speaker, which is Mr. Nazil. Have you got new information if there is a student or graduated want to follow internship international? So maybe in here, among all participants, maybe there are some who want to pursue international internship or fellowship, maybe Indonesia to Philippines, Malaysia to Indonesia, and then or Philippines to Malaysia.
Yeah, actually, it's a good question because I think the internship is open to everyone in ASEAN country. Actually, there is a lot of fellowship available in the ASEAN, even though in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Philippines, on other, I think in the world. So the best way you have to communicate with the host first, and then communicate with the professor or institution. Then later on, they can provide and advise you how to engage and to apply the the fellowship and also the scholarship, something like that. I think what we have done so far with the Indonesian, for example, like last year, Alhamdulillah, we managed to secure, I think it's about 80 delegation from Indonesia to come over to Malaysia at one time, and then we give an experience, on the attachment to all the students. I think this activity we can prolong later on. But at the moment, what we can do during the pandemic, I think we can work together using virtually, and then we can discuss so many things. Later on when everything is back to normal, inshallah everyone can start travels, and then we can do collaboration face to face. Yeah.
We hope the pandemic is end soon, and we now have a new hope because of the vaccine. I hope it works, right?
Yeah, I think Indonesia already started the vaccine, right? I think
yeah.
We pray the best. We hope by inshallah by mid of this year everyone can start travel using a new norm. So we can we can apply the collaboration.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nazil, for your answer. Then we go to another question. Okay.
Wimba, I have additional about this question.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Because I'm from industry.
Okay.
So the internship, a lot of students, they want to internship in the industry. I have a lot of students from around the world come to my my lab to the internship, including in USA, in Australia, in Thailand. They routinely come to our lab to doing internship. So the student must be try to doing the inform themselves. So they need to learn how to make a CV, best CV. So like for prepare to make a job application. So you need to try to make an internship application, because after that, because mostly industry not receive a lot of students together. They only sometimes they only need only one, two, three. They choose the best what they can help the project in the industry. So you need to additional your uh, skill in specific area before you make internship application. Because like if I have project related to mass spectrometry, so I will receive students they have experience with mass spectrometry. If I have a project related to PCR based testing, so I need to students can do PCR testing. If you have background that, so we can receive you. So you can apply internship depend with your experience. So you need to additional skillful your experience. After you get one internship, more easy to get another internship. So if you can try to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so just be prepared, then create your best portfolio so you can easily get an internship in industries or in the hospitals. Maybe Mr. Ebwent want to add your opinion?
Yeah, actually here in the Philippines, we have a lot of grades of schools. We have around 150 medtech schools in the Philippines. And as early as this millennial, I mean, we have a lot already of schools engaging in student exchange, right? The only hindrance that we are facing here in the Philippines, because our government prescribed the minimum requirements, and everything that you should do outside of your country should be approved by your government. So, but I said we were able to comply with all of those, some schools, and they are now going around the country. But it's not actually a full internship. It is a partial, because it's still the student has to graduate from the schools where he enrolled from. So probably we have 12 months internship here at the fourth year level. Then you can have 1 month from in another country, then spend the rest in the Philippines. So that's how we do, and I think the same with other countries are the medtech school. That's why we are now encouraging, because this is really a good practice. It's a really good practice, so that the students can also learn from others. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ebwent. Okay, let's move to another question. Okay, I think I cannot share the screen, but I will read out the question. This is for Mr. Fatah. You listed AI trainer and multi-omics. What companies provide this cadre for MLT? Because we are MLT are not tough basic programming language or data science.
Okay, for this is part of bioinformatics. In Indonesia, a lot of course related to bioinformatics, because this is more applicative, not in the campus. But I know some university, they have a course specific for bioinformatics. So if you have a basic language for programming related for statistics, like for R or Python, so if you have, this is basic course, and you can take course this online too. Actually, you can take online course for Python and R specific for related multi-omic testing. So some campus in Indonesia, because in Indonesia only I know only 3 campus, they routinely make a course related for bioinformatics, like I3L. They have already for this. And from Trisakti they have, and UGM University Gajah Mada, they have routinely to doing the internship, and they have actually the Society for bioinformatics. They routinely doing the workshop for this too. And for as a student, I think first time you need to learn from online course first, because this is a free base. So because from Coursera, there has a lot of from there, so you can learn from that. And I think you can learn from Prof. Nasil, because Prof. Nasil, they have system for this.
Maybe in the future, it will be beneficial if MIT students have data science and bioinformatics in their curriculum.
Yes, very important, because if they doing their research or the research with bioinformatics, so they can follow with next step after, if they want to continue in master program, or they want internship in the programming base in bioinformatics. It's more is now is a start career in medical laboratory.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Fatah. Okay, the last but not least question. This is maybe for Mr. Ebuen, but Mr. Nazil and Mr. Fatah are welcome to add your insights. The question is how to overcome stress and anxiety during our semester because of this pandemic situation.
Okay, I just give you one question. Go back to your normal life, the way you used to be when you were still having your face-to-face session, etc. Okay, just forget those negative ones, but the good ones that you have done is there. Remain healthy, you stay with your friends. Just the same, a normal adult or a normal student life would lead you to the same success that you would want during your online classes. Don't never forget those. That's what I've learned. You have to be mentally fit. You have to the same thing that you practice. The COVID pandemic does not mean that you have to forego all of those happy or good practices that you have when we were still in the pre-pandemic time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Such a good suggestion. For Mr. Nazil.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Bernard. I think what we have to do now, even though we are at the new norms, but I think we still can connect using our our virtual or our platform. We still can connect between one to another, but it's a more precaution. So we have to follow all the guidelines accordingly. But I believe everyone pray to back as a normal, but at the same time we have to educate. It's not only us, but we have to educate people surrounding us to follow all the guidelines to ensure that they are safe and health and back to normal. Yeah.
Thank you. And Mr. Fatah, maybe?
I think enough for me.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so the question is our last question because we have still many questions, but I think it's have been already answered by three of you. So to end our fruitful discussion, maybe I want to ask a closing statement from three of you. Start from Mr. Ebuen, please.
Okay, so there's has nothing to change except that you do it with extra care, with all with this those responsibilities that we are required during this pandemic. You have to save your life. You have to follow guidelines. And for you as a student in medical technology, we can conquer COVID. We conquer. We should conquer. And for you to stay alive and stay victorious at the end of the day, do your role as a student. It is summarized in the word conquer. Continue with your studies. Okay. What's letter O? For a while. Okay, continue with your studies. Then you have to another is you have to overcome the stress, fear, and worry. Don't worry about too much COVID. We will surpass all of this. Then the next is you have to practice non-stop healthy habits. Then you have to keep on questioning, be a researcher, be curious to everything that happens. You will not be left behind. Unite with your co-students. You can do a lot if you are united. Then continue educating yourself, continue educating other people. They need you. Then be a responsible citizen of your country, of your family, and to the entire world. So that is my final word. we can conquer COVID. Practice all of those which I have told you, then you will end up a successful medical technology professional someday. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Bernard. Remember the formula from Professor Bernard. Conquer, right? Okay. From Mr. Nazil, please.
Okay. Again, I would like to congratulate all of you because you managed to bring everyone virtually during the pandemic. I think it's a blessing of the pandemic also. Without pandemic, I don't think so we can manage to do virtually actually, because of pandemic, everyone using a lot of platform, what I mean digital platform to communicate, and I'm happy with all of you. You have to you have to proud yourself because you bring everyone, because we can see the participant in more than 600 at one time. So I think you have done tremendous job actually. So I'm happy with it. So I hope we still can connect using what I mean the platform, available platform, to to gain knowledge or to share the experience, and then we have to move forward, even though we are differently located, but we are still connect. Okay, so we are still connect, and then inshallah all of you will be the the frontliners and then hero for your nation, inshallah. Okay.
Amen. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nazil, for your closing statement. Then we move to Mr. Fatah.
Thank you very much. I want to say congratulations for my committee. It's very nice meeting today, very nice conference, and you prepare very good, very nice, and you not only expand your experience to become a committee, but you share your knowledge to other people in the Southeast Asian, and congratulations for that. As a student, you are in the gold period, so you need to utilize these times, because this time is time for extract the knowledge from other people. So utilize this time window periods as because this is gold. So you need to extract a lot of knowledge from other people, uh, a lot of experience. You are connected generation. So the pandemic, I think, is not problem for you because you are connected generation. So more easy to connect it with others, even in online base. So keep motivate. Uh, Now your time to develop for better dream for your future tomorrow. Thank you very much and for sharing opportunity today. I hope you keep your motivation, keep your health, and sharing experience to another people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fatah. Okay, with those three closing statements from our beloved speakers, so our session is already end. Thank you so much for Professor Bernard, for Professor Nazil, and for Dr. Miswar Fatah for sharing your knowledge and then your insights, and of course the motivation for all the participants of MSC Student Conference 2021. I hope I hope we all in the safety and healthy condition until we can meet each other in reality, offline, of course. Then do so many collaborations in the future, and this is a good start for the students to collaborate to each other, to share their insights, and then to share the problems, and can find the solution together in tomorrow discussion in student conference. Thank you so much for all the speakers. I'm Wimba. I'm sorry for the mistakes. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah,
It's a
nice
very
to meet you
nice
all.
conference.
Yeah, nice to meet you all.
Thank you to all the speakers and moderator. Gentlemen, agenda is introducing Regional Council of Indonesia Association of Medical Laboratory Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, next agenda is introducing Regional Council of Indonesian Student Association of Medical Laboratory Technology.
have to stay afloat. It's not easy. Be a person you don't want. Can somebody take me other thing? Going to do, going to do. Where's the life like? Where's my shot? Is this called living? I don't know, I don't know. Where's the life like? Where's my shot? Is this called living? I don't know, I don't know. I don't wanna grow, just live myself. I don't wanna grow, the things I left behind me. I don't wanna grow, just live myself. I don't wanna grow, the things I left behind me. Just live myself behind me. Just live myself. Just live myself behind me. Look behind me. Look behind. Look behind. Look behind. Where's the life like? Where's my shot? Is this called living? Look behind. I don't know, I don't know. Where's the life like? Where's my shot? Is this called living? Look behind. I don't know, I don't know. I don't wanna grow, just live myself. I don't wanna grow.
Lempar pisang, pisangku belum masak. Masak sabiji di hurung bari-bari. Masak sabiji di hurung bari-bari.
Menggarepok, patah kayu bengkok-bengkok dimakan api. Apinya cangcurupan, bengkok dimakan api. Apinya cangcurupan. Nang mana batis kutu dikitip bidawang. Nang mana batis kutu dikitip bidawang. Nang mana batis kutu dikitip bidawang. Nang mana batis kutu dikitip bidawang.
Okay guys, we hope that short video can represent Regional Council of Indonesian Student Association of MLT, and we also hope that we can meet each other soon. And for now, as the last of this event, let's take some photos for documentation. Okay guys, now please open your camera.
Okay, everyone can turn on your camera. Let's go take some photo. In 3, 2, 1, cheese.
Okay, let's take one more time. Okay, 1,
2, 3, cheese.
Okay, one more.
One more, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
One more.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I think it's enough. Okay, guys, now we are at the end of the first day Medical Laboratory Student Conference. Thank you for your attendance for today.
And we also have some announcement for all of you guys, for participants and also delegates. For the second day or tomorrow, only delegates can join the meeting room, and for participants, you can join from live YouTube Imataki Indonesia. And that's all for today, and
see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Before we close this event, I think I want to know some testimonial from each country, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I think
From Philippines.
anybody else here from Philippines?
Philippines.
You can raise hand at Zoom meeting and open your microphone, okay?
We want
Anybody
to
else?
talk with you guys.
Let's go.
From Philippines?
Okay.
Anybody from Philippines? Okay, from Philippines, please say hi, guys.
Hello.
Okay, from Alicia Delios. You can open your microphone.
Ada di warung.
Let's chill here. Let's have some conversation.
Ucu,
Okay,
thank
host,
you.
please. Alicia Delios. Love to talk with Alicia.
Nggak bisa masuk. 15 orang.
Sis.
Begini.
Okay, the host want to unmute all of you guys, and if you want to talk and say hi, please say hi, okay? We'd love to say hi and talk with you guys.
Hai, selamat sore.
Host, ready to unmute? 1, 2.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 Hello, I hope you
Hi,
are all doing fine.
Hi.
Yeah, totally fine.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm from Malaysia.
Good job for today. Hi.
Hey, from Malaysia.
Anybody else from
Hi.
Malaysia?
Hello.
Hello.
We are from Malaysia.
Welcome to you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Great job, great job. Oh, I'm ya. Hi, Yunis. Oh, I'm ya.
Hai Mi, cantiknya. Ini. Hai,
I think
ini.
we want
Hi,
Hello.
Yunis.
ask you
Hai.
about this MSC
Hey,
2021.
Hi.
Anybody else want to talk? Give
Swadikap.
Sawadikap. Sawadika.
Sawadika.
Yeah.
Sawadika.
Sawadika.
Sawadika. ขอโทษนะคะ
Sawadika. Sawadika.
สวัสดีครับผมชื่ออาจิครับ
Swadikap, Karen.
Nobody from Thailand.
Speak Thai lah, I think.
Sawadika. Kakak.
Swadikap.
Mahal ko kayo. Buat grup.
Maybe from
Mahal na mahal kita.
Wojengke.
Klaren.
Maria from Vietnam.
Indonesia. Hi, I'm from Myanmar.
Selamat
Hi,
pagi.
Myanmar.
Hi, from the Philippines. Hello.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, kumusta kayo?
Kumusta?
Hi, Kalete.
Kumusta
Hello.
kuya?
Hello, issues. Ayo. Buat grup
Hello.
yuk. Orang Indonesia.
Hello.
Kumusta? Aku si
Mabuhay.
Aji.
Hello. Mabuhay din.
Magandang hapon.
Hello.
Magandang
Hello.
tanghali.
Magandang tanghali din.
Magandang
And please speak
tanghali.
English.
Speak English,
Are you a Filipino also?
Hi.
I don't understand Tagalog.
Hello, yes, you know how to speak Tagalog.
Yeah, only a few
I'm from
Tagalog.
Myanmar. I
Few
don't know how
Tagalog
to speak.
only.
Yeah.
Are you a Filipino?
No, I'm Malaysian.
No,
but
I'm
I
from
Oh,
Myanmar.
nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I always watching a Philippines movie actually. So I know a few words in Tagalog language. Yeah.
Oh, what kind of Filipino movies?
Man, I know
I'm
Liza Soberano.
Oh, yes. She is very famous here.
an actress. Yeah.
Panama
Also,
Soberano.
Anywhere in the news, you will see her.
I've seen Forevermore series, or
Yes, I watched that
I
also.
know her a lot.
And her partner, do you know him as well?
Enrique.
Yes, Enrique Hill. They are both
Yeah.
celebrity couples here in the Philippines.
Oh, so sweet.
I hope that when this pandemic ends, we will meet face to face
Yeah.
in your respective
Come to
countries.
Malaysia.
Hello, mommy.
Hi, mommy. I don't know who is mommy, so hi,
Hi,
mommy.
nice to meet you.
Hello. Which one is mommy?
From where?
She's so cute.
Hello,
mommy.
Hello, Indonesia. Selamat tengah hari.
Hello, Malaysia.
Halo,
Hello.
Malaysia.
Hello.
Malaysia.
Hello.
Hello.
Like this, Melayu.
Melayu, that's right.
cakap
I just know.
Yeah, kami orang Melayu.
I go to see Upin Ipin, you know?
Oh.
Hello.
I love to watch Philippines with my little brother.
So after finish all this pandemic, so welcome to Malaysia. Come to Unisat, okay?
Okay,
sure.
Okay. Sure.
And we go to MSC because Unisat and MSC is nearby only.
We encourage that. MSC student encourage that. Come and visit us.
Yes,
Yes,
MSC student.
definitely.
Come to Indonesia and
Hi,
Yes.
Hakim.
I hope
Halo
that I
guys.
Nggak ngerti.
And your class from Indonesia, where is
Guys,
from
what group
Indonesia?
guys?
I'm the man of the backstage, guys.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi, Bayu.
Hello.
Oh, so
Let's see
Hi.
the committee.
Is it Bayu? I think I know him.
I'm waiting here.
I saw him before this at the
So this is the master of ceremony.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Teh Salsa, hi Teh Salsa. I see you in here.
Hi, Sasa.
Hi, Jessica.
Good job to all the
Let's say
the backstage person.
Hi, Shiva.
And you for
Thank you.
all.
Well done,
Yes.
everybody. Well done.
Congratulations for Imal Taki. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think you can visit Indonesia, guys. I will wait you.
Hi, Bayu. How are you?
Hi, nice
meeting you all.
Hello everybody.
Are you from Philippines?
I'm from the Philippines.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Rita. Hi,
Hello.
kumusta? Kumusta?
Mabuti naman.
But guys, I want to ask something.
I hope that you will visit Philippines soon.
Wait, is this going to be a Tagalog conference right now? Is this going to be a Tagalog conference?
Ah.
Honestly, I want to go to around ASEAN.
I don't understand because I'm sleeping.
Hi, who is this? Who is this
Hello,
princess?
Aloysius.
Hello,
Hello. Are you
I'm
from
Janiel.
where are you from? From Philippines?
Yes, Philippines,
Oh,
Batangas specifically.
Oh, hi,
Janiel,
Daniel.
what school do you study?
Lyceum of the Philippines
Oh,
University.
Lyceum at Batangas, right?
Yes. How about you?
all right. Anyone from Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar?
Hey, Aloysius.
Is fine.
Hello.
They're from Thailand.
What school do you
Hello.
study here in the Philippines?
Ada yang dari Thailand.
Who's from Thailand?
Jangan sama di
Press us.
Who's from Thailand?
Kini.
I'm from Myanmar.
Who's there from?
Kini.
Are you from Thailand?
Yes. Sawadee
Sawadika.
No, we're not.
Sawadika, together the series.
Sawadee Krap.
Sawadee Krap.
Sawadee cha.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Guys, are you
guys.
excited for
Ingat
the
po.
second day?
Nice to meet you all.
Second day.
Nice to meet you guys.
Mahal
Yes.
ko kayo.
Nice to meet you.
Don't forget to join.
Okay, guys. I
Hello,
think I got
guys.
to go. Bye, bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a nice
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Happy 2021.
Tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Happy guys.
Have a good time.
Bye, bye.
Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Aloysius, from what school are you?
I am studying at Angeles University
guys.
Foundation, Philippines.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Clarence.
Bye. Thank you.
Mahal kita.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Carlo.
Bye, Eunice. Bye, Carlos. Mahal ko kayo.
Bye, Aloysius.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Aloysius. Sawadee Krap.
Assalamualaikum.
Ingat, stay safe.
Sawadika.
I look forward to meeting you all.
Aloysius, what is your FB name? Asked by my friend Normandy Vargas.
Okay.
So,
Bye,
Hi,
guys.
Aloysius. What's your FB name?
Don't forget to watch
That I can
us
add on
in
Facebook.
YouTube Matelki Indonesia, okay? Bye.
Bye.
bye
Bye.
everyone. See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Aloysius, add Normandy Vargas in FB. Thank you.
Hello again. What is the name?
Yes.
Normandy
welcome.
Vargas.
Normandy Baiga.
Yes, that's me. Thank you.
Wow, bilis ha.
200.
Sa mga kapwa kong Pilipino dyan, mabuhay.
Buhay.
Out, Aloysius.
Buhay.
Hi,
Hello.
Aloysius.
Buhay.
Of the Philippines University.
Buhay kayo
Nakakatawa
hanggang
naman
gusto
na
nyo.
marami tayo dito. No?
Oh, mabuhay ang mga
Tayo
medtech.
magkalat. Char.
Mabuhay
Ano yan,
medtech.
tao?
Ang lihat po aja.
Maybe you should teach them how to say char.
Oh yeah, guys, don't forget to follow Instagram MSC 2021. Okay.
Aishi.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Please
Keep
prepare
safe.
all delegates or opinions.
Again, Normandy Vargas, Aloysius. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Tig lang.
Aloysius. Oh, Aloysius. Aloysius. Bye.
Bye-bye, Clarence.
Bye. Keep safe.
Bye,
Bye.
Clarence.
Bye, guys. Keep
Bye,
Bye,
safe.
Clarence. Bye, 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 Robert. everyone. Please follow me on
Yes.
IG.
Bye,
Bye,
Normandy.
Jen. Bye,
Bye.
Sheena.
Oh,
Bye, Net
Meet you all.
181.
sawadee
Bye, Net
ka.
181.
Uy.
Thank you so much.
Mabuhay.
Love you
Bye-bye,
all.
Tomorrow.
Bye, Ishay.
There is 200
Bye,
people
Normandy.
in Zoom.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
Ishay lang
Normandy.
malakas. Bye guys. Guys, add nyo yung Facebook. Normandy Balhera. Bye guys. Thank you. God bless.
Bye.
Kaget.
Kaget.